The whisper of the ancient tree. Deep within an untouched forest, where the sunlight barely pierced the thick canopy of leaves, stood an ancient tree. It was older than the hills that cradled the forest, and taller than the others that surrounded it. Its roots reached deep into the earth, holding stories of centuries past, and its branches stretched toward the heavens as if yearning to touch the stars. The tree was home to countless lives. Birds built their nests in its sturdy limbs, squirrels dashed along its bark, and moss and fungi clung to its base, thriving in its shade. It had seen seasons come and go, storms rage and subside, and life blossom and fade. Yet through it all the tree stood silent, steadfast and enduring. There were times, though, when the tree felt an ache within its ancient heart. It was not the ache of age or weariness, but of isolation. While the forest buzzed with life, the tree's roots were buried deep, its branches outstretched but never touching. It could not run with the streams that bubbled nearby, or soar with the birds that came to rest in its crown. One still evening, as the forest basked in the fading golden light of the setting sun, a gentle breeze stirred the leaves of the tree. The wind was soft, carrying the faint scent of wildflowers from a distant meadow. It danced through the forest, brushing against the branches and rustling the leaves as it passed. "Why do you sigh so deeply, old friend?" the wind asked, its voice a tender murmur that wrapped around the tree. The tree creaked softly, its branches swaying. "Because I am alone," it whispered, its voice heavy with years. "I stand here season after season, unable to move, unable to reach beyond myself. The birds leave, the animals come and go, but I remain. What purpose does my stillness serve?" The wind swirled around the tree, thoughtful and calm. "You see yourself as alone. Yet you are the heart of this forest," it replied. The strength of your roots holds the soil together, giving life to the meadow beyond. Your branches shelter the nests of birds, and your leaves breathe life into the air. Do you not see the lives that depend on your stillness? The tree considered the wind's words, its leaves trembling faintly. It thought of the robin's nest nestled in the crook of its branches, and the young saplings that grew strong in its shade. But I give without knowing where my gifts go, the tree said. I can never see the meadow or the stream. I cannot feel the freedom of the birds or the rush of the animals. The wind, ever patient, circled the tree once more. There is beauty in stillness that the rushing river and soaring bird will never know, it said. You hold a quiet wisdom, a timeless presence that anchors this forest. You give without seeking, and in that you find purpose. The tree sighed, its branches swaying as the night deepened. Stars began to glimmer in the sky, their light filtering through the canopy. The wind rose, carrying the coolness of the approaching night, and continued to speak. You see, dear tree, the world is not only about movement. There is strength in simply being. The stream may rush, but it needs your roots to guide its path. The birds may fly, but they return to your branches to rest. Your stillness is not an absence. It is a foundation. Without it, the forest would fall silent. The tree felt a deep calm settle over its ancient heart. The wind's words were not loud or forceful, but carried the weight of truth. It thought of the countless lives that had passed through its branches, the storms it had weathered to protect the forest, and the roots it had sunk deep into the earth to keep the soil alive. As the stars brightened and the moon rose high, the forest seemed to hum with quiet life. The tree stood tall, its roots firm, its branches spread wide. It no longer longed for what it could not do, but embraced what it already was, a steady, enduring presence in a world of constant change. The wind, satisfied, kissed the tree's leaves one last time before carrying its gentle song to the far edges of the forest. The tree listened to the rustling of the leaves, the chirping of the crickets, and the distant call of an owl. And in that stillness, under the endless expanse of stars, the tree rested. It did not move, nor did it need to. Its purpose was not in the rushing of streams or the flight of birds, but in the quiet strength of simply standing growing and giving. It was enough. It had always been enough.